2025. How are people affording to drive their half-ton or three-quarter-ton trucks to their office job? I sure don't understand it. But you know what? Today's video, we're talking about the mullet of all trucks. It is the 2025 refreshed Hyundai Santa Cruz. Charlotte's gonna flip her camera around and showcase this vehicle real quick before we get into our walkthrough. First things first though, Charlotte, why do we call this a mullet truck? What's so different about it? What's so special?
Well, let's be real. This thing, it's business in the front, which gives you that beautiful SUV-like practicality, but it's party in the back.
Certainly is. So if you couldn't tell from our title or thumbnail image, we got business in the front, party in the back, thanks to SUV-like versatility, or comfort I should say, with all the convenience of an open bed back. So let's take a look at it, shall we?
Definitely.
It's a little bit of a different setup on our live today. Usually Charlotte and I are both standing in front of the camera giving you guys a hello before we get into it, but we're not doing that today. We're shortcutting it. However, if this is your first Kia Hyundai channel live, of course we're doing this in real time, so no script, just us in the car, and we're gonna take you on a full walkthrough. So exterior, powertrain, interior, and tech. Now because this is a 2025 model, it's actually refreshed, so we do have some changes. On the outside, it may not look like too much has changed, but if we take a closer look, you'll see that there's actually quite a bit of difference. So first things first, I'm going to point out the front end, more specifically our grille. So we have a beautiful gloss, or I want to say dark chrome finish. It's definitely looking a little bit brighter in here. That's just because of our fluorescent lighting up there, but it's definitely a lot more blocky than last year. I wish I had a 2023 or 2024 model to give you a side-by-side, but in the previous generation, it was more curved like angel wings. Now you can see it's a lot blockier, and of course that's still going to translate to our daytime running lights. So when these lights are off, they perfectly blend in with the rest of the chrome in the grille itself, blends in nicely, it looks fantastic, and then with your light system on, it's beautiful. I really do love the front end styling of this vehicle. A lot of trucks, I will say, in the more half-ton market, they can get kind of boring with their front end, so the Santa Cruz keeps it fun and fresh. Now for the main headlamp, you are going to get LEDs even in its most standard model, so this is the preferred we have here today. Now, if you're watching from the US, you may be wondering, why does my Santa Cruz look completely different? Our trims are spec'd quite differently here in Canada. A big change is going to be the fact that we only have the turbocharged powertrain option, where in the US you get a naturally aspirated or a turbo option. All right, back to this vehicle though. More chrome on the lower half of this vehicle, transferring over towards your skid plate. A little bit of matte black over here, and then this vehicle is equipped with forward collision avoidance assist, so that's going to work on pedestrians and cyclists. On the higher models of the Santa Cruz, you can actually have a more advanced version of that also includes highway drive assist. But again, this is the preferred, and we're already seeing a lot of great tech and safety functions, all standard. Now, I'm going to pop the hood, but before I do that, I might just have Charlotte get a little closer to our Hyundai emblem over here. You'll notice it's a bit of a brighter chrome material, definitely stands out. It has a very, very large look to it, so it pops up in that large grille. Now, under the hood, here's my favorite part of the Santa Cruz, is the powertrain. So this is a 2.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. Pop that up. We do have a prop arm. It's going to give you 281 horsepower with 311 pound-feet of torque. And of course, this isn't performance car numbers. They're not turbo diesel truck numbers, but that's a lot of fun. It's a great powertrain, and I will tell you, it gives you great fuel efficiency. So going back to my comment on the half-ton truck, this vehicle is not going to suck fuel like a hungry truck. It sips it more, and then it's also going to be fantastic on the highway as well too. When it comes to the transmission, it's an 8-speed wet-type dual-clutch transmission, which we've heard a lot of talk about. Let me tell you, dual-clutch transmissions do have a little bit of different characteristics than a regular automatic. They might feel a little bit lurchy, especially at low speeds. A big thing, especially if you are keeping this vehicle for long term, is knowing how to properly drive a dual-clutch transmission. And we will link our video on everything you need to know about it in the description, so check that out if you want to know more about it. A big change for the 2025 model year is also our wheel design. So this is our 18-inch wheel that's going to be standard on the preferred trim level. It looks stunning in my opinion, so nice machined finish. You get a little bit of gloss black and your Hyundai emblem right in the very center.
This is really nice for the introductory trim. Like, this is actually a really nice wheel.
No boring wheels here, no boring styling here. The Santa Cruz is funky, and again, why we call it the mullet truck. There's a party emphasis to it. There's a hidden Santa Cruz, and you're right over here. A tire marker, oh my goodness, a marker light as well over there. And you get ventilated disc brakes up at the front with solid disc brakes in the rear. It's also worth noting that the Santa Cruz is exclusively all-wheel drive here in Canada, so we do also have the mix of drive and terrain modes. Drive modes you're probably familiar with already. There's a sport mode, a smart mode, which is going to change the way the throttle response is, your steering as well too, and your shift points. Now when you move over to drive or terrain mode select, you also get snow, mud, and sand to choose from. Like I mentioned, standard here in Canada, so every model is going to have it. Flip this vehicle into snow mode or mud mode, it'll change the all-wheel drive torque distribution, but also your stability control, just to give you better traction in those conditions. The tires that come on this vehicle, they are all-season tires. Of course, we always recommend winters as well too, if you are living somewhere that gets snow and icy conditions. The paint on this vehicle today is Twilight Black, or black, as we like to call it. I think it looks good and definitely suits this vehicle. I think a lot of the dark accents, both on the wheels and on your front end, your grille, are going to complement the black paint exceptionally well. Just always a forewarning with black paint. You gotta take good care of it because it is by far the hardest paint to keep clean and to make look good in the long run. All right, let's take a look at our mirrors. So we get a mix of body color, a little bit of black plastic, and a turn signal indicator. It's an LED on your mirrors. You also get blind spot detection on this vehicle, as well as lane keep and lane follow assist as standard features. Another nice convenience function is the fact that we have convenience entry. So as long as the key is somewhere on me, it could be in my pocket or in my hand, I don't actually have to touch or press any button on the key. I'll just press the entry button right over here, both on the driver or passenger side, to unlock said door and let me in, and then I can lock my vehicle again from there. You do get roof rails up at the top, just nice, sleek, flush roof rails. And we're getting to the party portion of the vehicle. So before I actually pop open the bed, I'll first talk towing. So this vehicle does have a towing capacity of 5,000 pounds, which is fantastic. Lots of aftermarket accessories are available for the Santa Cruz as well too. So things like bed extenders, there is seriously a lot. And this vehicle is truly adventure ready. I love to say, you're not lugging around a giant pickup truck. This is something you can definitely park in your garage. If you have a garage, driveway, that kind of thing. And if you're parallel parking in the city, it's not much harder than a regular SUV, you guys. This is not a huge pickup truck. All right, again, before I drop the tailgate, a little bit of dark chrome styling over here with your Hyundai written boldly across. I like how they actually have Hyundai instead of the H badge. I think it fits the truck much better. You also get Santa Cruz kind of embossed into the tailgate itself, or debossed. What's it called when it's actually inwards? I don't know, stamped in. It's stamped in, yeah. LED tail lamps. The tail lamps look pretty cool. They're a bit different than last year's generation. But when you are looking at it from the back end, there's not too much change at first glance. You really got to look at it or have them side by side to notice the differences. A lot of the major differences that might sway you from a 2024 model to 2025 come down to the interior and the technology. You got to wait till Charlotte talks for that.
The taillights, actually, if you take a look at them, you can see we have more of a vertical side and then it goes horizontal, so it kind of is like one big H stretching across.
H motifs.
That's kind of cool.
So a nice, soft, open tailgate. It's also a multi-function tailgate. You can adjust it as well.
Cup holders.
Or you can take it off if you want to put a bed extender, that kind of thing. For your tonneau cover. Now, tonneau covers are standard here in Canada, and that's where this vehicle is also quite different than the US spec. In the US, you have to get the Adventure package to get your tonneau cover, or you can purchase an aftermarket one, whatever's up to you, but it is standard here. Now, this holds up to 220 pounds as well too, so it's quite durable, heavy duty, and you can stop it at any point. So if you want half of your bed covered, half of it open, you can do that. It's lockable as well. So let's slide it back. It's gonna be loud, I'm sorry. There we go. As you can see, when you retract your tonneau cover, it gets stored nice and neatly into this canister here. Very easy to grab back and pull back into place. There's nothing I hate more than a hard-to-use tonneau cover. And if you ask me what I did this weekend, I removed a very hard-to-use tonneau cover. Guys, seriously, get a foldable one or one built-in. It's just such a nightmare taking stuff off. All right, so now before I fully hop into the bed, let's take a look at our bed liner. So it's sheet molded composite, pretty heavy duty, and it looks great. It's also a watertight bed liner as well too. And by watertight, I mean there's a little storage compartment underneath the floorboard where you can put things that you want to keep dry. So if it's snowy and you have your bed open, put your boots or blankets, shoes, whatever in there. It should be airtight. On the other side, if you want to go fishing or maybe have a tailgate party and you want to stuff that with ice or any sort of cold, wet material, it's also a great cooler, little fridge compartment. There's a lot you can do with this vehicle. So lots of versatility there. Okay, I'm gonna hop in now. It might be harder for Charlotte to film this, I don't know, but
do my best.
Let's point out the lights first. So of course you got your truck bed lighting. It's full LED right over there, high mounted brake lamp, and then of course your actual truck bed. You have a sliding window here. It is manual. We'll get a better look at that when we hop inside. Then you got 2 lights on each side, both LEDs, so very, very bright lighting, and of course, no extra charge to get these tailgate functions or box functions. It's all gonna be standard on the Santa Cruz here in Canada.
Okay, they've got plastic on them. They're not actually blue.
It's okay, this one doesn't have blue plastic. This one's got white
Oh,
plastic.
thank you.
You can see, just a regular LED light. Now, when it comes to storage back here, both sides are going to have little storage canisters, with this side having also a 115-volt inverter. It's also watertight, as you can see, the extra precaution that went into making sure it has a perfect seal. So you do have a little bit of connectivity back here, powered. It's great if you are someone who likes to camp a lot or just be outside a lot.
Tim, would you drive this? Would this be more fuel efficient on your commute?
Yeah, they're cool.
Let me call Tim out real quick. Mr. Tim works an office job. He wears a suit to work every single day. Do you know what he drives? He drives a 3/4 ton Chevrolet Silverado High Country. So not even just a regular pickup truck, a fancy pickup truck.
But you know why I drive it?
Why do you drive it, Tim?
So you're able to pick up your bike, move all your furniture, go to Marketplace, all the other stuff that you need.
What? Hey.
Talk to Mr. Hart because he supplies that for both of you ladies to use.
Tim's coming for blood today.
I thought he was going to say because we deliver all across Ontario.
No.
But
It's actually for
Gabi uses.
Gabi and Charlotte, just in case you need to move something from Facebook Marketplace.
hey, those days are numbered
Listen,
because
You don't need to
She's
expose
running
us
out
like
of money.
that.
Huh?
She's running out of money.
No, those days are over because
These are cool.
that thing over there.
Gabi's taking that home.
Yeah.
I drove Pete's when he had his.
Yes, the
Very
Santa
cool.
borderline, the Santa Cruz is cool. A couple more things I'll point out while I'm in the box. Number one, I'll close this before I forget. We also have D-rings. So built in to the box itself, heavy duty D-rings. Seriously, these are thick, strong. We got them in each corner, so 4. You also have this rail and cleat system, so depending on whatever you're going to put into your box, you can adjust these to make sure your load is secured. I thought Tim was still there for a second. I got scared.
He is a jump scare.
He's terrifying. But needless to say, I know Tim, he likes to defend himself. He doesn't need a 3/4 ton truck, you guys.
Tim just likes to roast us.
Tim likes to roast us. It's seriously so much versatility in this truck bed. It's fantastic. And the best part is you can drive it and it doesn't feel like you're driving a school bus. It's easy to maneuver. It's fun to drive. The turbocharged powertrain is peppy. It's responsive. It's easy steering. It's just so much fun. You really have to drive it for yourself though. All right, so let me get out of here. And before we hop inside, I might just quickly talk fuel efficiency. So this vehicle has a 67-liter fuel tank, just regular unleaded's fine, so 87 octane. And I believe it's rated at 11 point something. Less? Charlotte's looking at me like, I don't know. It's 11 point something. I'll find it in the meantime. But let's take a look inside and see what else has changed for 2025.
All right. Hey everyone, I did not get to introduce myself earlier, but I've been behind the camera. My name is Charlotte. We're going to take a look at the interior. And if you're looking at this and you're like, you know what, a lot of these bed features, they seem pretty familiar. I can't quite tell the difference between the new front end and the new rear end. A lot of the differences are going to come down to what we have on the inside, and it's all about tech and comfort. And I bet you guys are really going to like it because I definitely do. Now, if you haven't already, reminder that this is a live video, so put your comments in the live chat and we'll answer them at the end of the video after we're done going through the interior. Like this video, and also if you haven't already, please subscribe to the Kia Hyundai channel because it's free, and in this economy, you got to take advantage of anything that's free.
Or good fuel efficiency in a truck.
Or good fuel efficiency in a truck, that as well. Thank you. All right. So let's talk about the driver's side door. Well, I think we should probably start there. You can see that we have a lot of black on black, but we do have a good mix of materials, even though this is the introductory trim. So this is the preferred trim. You'll notice that we have electronically controlled mirrors. Our front 2 windows are going to be one touch with optical detecting with regular automatic for everyone else. And then still we're going to have our bottle compartment, and then we have our speakers. No premium sound system in this vehicle, just our regular in-house sound. And then as we come over to our seats, these are a cloth and they are a manual, so they are a set it and forget it. Of course, you're still able to adjust your legroom. You can adjust your height as well as your backrest. So it's nice to still see the height adjustment on this type of vehicle. The seats themselves, they are going to be a cloth. The thing I like about these cloth seats is they still have a little bit of a design detail when it comes to the center insert, which I think looks really good, adds a little bit more of an interest to just regular cloth seats. Now, if you're looking at this and you're knocking cloth seats, these seats are both heated, so that means they're going to heat up a lot faster in the winter, but they're also not going to get as hot as leather or synthetic leather would be, or cold, depending on the external temperature. So There are some wins for cloth seats, even if you don't like them. On this side, I'll just show a couple little items. Notice how everything is angled towards me, but you will have your brightness adjuster. Also, you're able to turn on your bed light, your traction control, and then also a designated tow mode for the vehicle. And that's basically going to go and help you have a smoother towing experience depending on the weight of the load that you are towing. All right, you wanna come around?
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna look at the wheels. Hazard lights, which look fantastic. The beautiful daytime running lights, no longer more so of that angel wing. Now it's a lot more blocky and bold, which, hey, I like it. It suits a truck. And then the fuel consumption is 10.7 liters, so actually better than 11. There we go.
All right, tell me about your seat.
So someone did comment saying that they thought they were leather seats, so I'll try to give a closer look. These are cloth, but they are a very nice cloth, like Charlotte mentioned earlier. You do have your backrest adjustment for the passenger seat, and then of course you have this bar over here that'll move it on its rails. No height adjustment, but it is placed at a pretty decent height.
Yeah, definitely. One thing I want to show before we talk about everything else that has to do with the screens is just hopping onto that tow mode. So if you want to go and adjust the weight that this vehicle is pulling, you can actually do so in your drive modes in your center screen. So from here, you're able to adjust it to a lightweight, so between 0 and about 40%, and then 40 and 70, and then anything kind of above 70%. When it comes to towing capacity, this vehicle is equipped with 5,000 pounds of towing capacity when properly equipped. So you definitely can do a lot with this type of vehicle, and definitely one of the higher rated towing vehicles too that Kia and Hyundai have to offer. Now directly in front of me, steering wheel, big surprise there. It is actually leather wrapped, which is very nice, and this is a heated steering wheel. So again, not something that we see too often on base models, but because there's only 3 trims, I find that the features are very well evenly distributed, and this actually has a lot for the first trim in the lineup here for Canada.
It's a new steering wheel too.
Yeah, new steering wheel design. You have the H in Morse code for your center logo, and then also you'll notice we have our split between our driving controls and our media controls. So all of those comfort driving features that Gabby mentioned, you can adjust here on the fly. And then over here is more so going to be your media controls, like your virtual assistant. And then you can also go and use this notes icon to cycle through the center screen. You'll also notice that we have new software. So it's going to give us that nice digital look. But really the only screen that you're able to cycle between and change is going to be this 4.2-inch one in the center that keeps popping up there. So let's see the types of things that we can see on the screen. So it's going to give you your trip computer to see how the vehicle responds to you as the driver. So very handy if you want to understand your fuel economy versus maybe somebody else who's driving this fuel economy. You can also see which safety features are going to be enabled, of course, and that power distribution, because as Gabby talked about, this vehicle is going to operate with that front wheel drive bias, kicking in power from the rear end when it deems fit. Also, you'll be able to see your TPMS when the vehicle is in motion. Again, really love this software. The fun thing too is it is fully digital, but these hash marks, they will fill up, of course, as your speed and as your RPM increase, which I think just, I don't know, looks kind of fun and sporty in my opinion. Random thing though. You also do have paddle shifters, so if you want to manually manipulate that 8-speed wet type DCT, you definitely can do so, not only using your gear shift, but also with your paddles. And then lighting stock and wiper stock are both going to be here. It is a standard push to start, so proximity key, and this is also going to include fob integrated remote start. Where is it? There it is. Egg-shaped key fob, so lock, unlock, panic, and then of course you can also drop your tailgate just from the fob. Now this screen, I think that you guys are going to be very, very happy about this. Again, standard 12.3-inch screen with new software, and with this new software comes the capacity for wireless Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. So you no longer need any cords to clutter up your center console in the Santa Cruz. Everything can be done completely wirelessly, which again, I absolutely love. And I know that this is a die-hard feature that you guys are going to be excited to have, so I'm glad that I get to share that you finally get to have it. If you want to go and further customize any of your driver's assistance features, you can definitely go and do so in through here. And this is also where I was able to access tow mode to change up any of the weights. Yeah, lots going on. Down below, now this is where it really looks different than the Santa Cruz that we saw of the past, and this is pretty much the same interior that we see on the new Tucson. It used to just be a screen mounted here, and then down below it was all just buttons and dials for your climate control and also for your media controls. And while it is still a mix of buttons and dials, you also have this 5.5-inch screen, which is going to be your designated climate control. And this is a little bit of a cleaner layout too, but it's not dual purpose, so everything stays static as it is, so very easy to see everything. So all of these buttons are going to do as they say, and you also have the integrated search function as well. So if you struggle a little bit with the learning curve, or say if you couldn't find where your tow mode was, you can definitely type it in as far as features, contacts, media. Again, very much going to help with the learning curve and understanding what features this vehicle has, especially if you have not watched these videos. But if you have, you're going to be an expert, don't worry. Down below, you'll notice all of, again, our climate control, so your heated seats and your heated steering wheel with 2 levels of heat, and then, of course, your front and rear defrost, your fan direction, fan speed, and you'll even notice that we have a Santa Cruz icon. So I love it when Hyundai does that, the fact that they make their buttons look like the actual vehicle. I think it's so cute. Down below, you will notice that we have a USB-C, which can be used for connectivity or charging, and another one for your passenger, in addition to a 12-volt. Lots of storage space down in the center. Regular lever gear shift, which is very nice to see, especially in a more utility vehicle. And then also you'll notice your button to switch between your drive and terrain modes, and then you're going to use this toggle to cycle between which ones you'd like. Now, Gabby, of course, already explained these. So for your drive modes, you're going to have normal, sport, and smart. Then your terrain, snow, mud, and sand to change up that traction control and the torque distribution as well. You're going to have auto hold, an electronic parking brake, your rear view camera, which will come up as the vehicle is put into reverse, and your downhill braking assist, which is also that Santa Cruz icon. Here's a good look at your backup camera. You'll see it is crystal clear, probably clearer than what we were filming on today. The nice thing is you also have this top-down view, so very handy, especially if you are going and towing something. You're also going to have a wide angle, which is going to take up that full screen to really give you the full picture of what is behind you. Center console, little extra storage space here. Very deep, I will say, so a good amount of hidden space, in my opinion. And then you're still, of course, going to have your cup holders. Do you want to show the glove box?
Sure. Also, before I get into the glove box, a little bit of storage up here, upstairs storage, Charlotte likes to call it.
Yeah, upstairs, downstairs.
And then downstairs storage, covered storage. It's a fairly decent sized glove box. Nothing too crazy going on, but storage.
Yeah.
Space.
Yeah. Up top, you will notice our controls here. So we do have standard Hyundai Blue Link, which is Hyundai's telematics system. And if you don't know what the big word telematics means, it's going to be your smartphone integration. So if you want to start the vehicle with your phone, you definitely can do so. You can also access things like emergency assistance, location assistance, and you can't access your lights, but you can from here. So thank you.
They're LEDs.
They're LEDs interior lighting. We also have a dark headliner, which is very nice. So nice and black, darkens up the cabin. I think it looks pretty sweet. I like a dark headliner, but second row.
Yep. Auto hold should be banned. Damages your transmission. I beg to differ. I think if you utilize auto hold, it actually stops, especially a dual clutch transmission, from slipping at low speeds.
That's what I was just going to say. Thank you.
So auto hold is actually fantastic.
All right, so this is going to be our second row. So again, probably going to look pretty familiar to the Tucson until you see what's underneath. Now, all of these seats, they're going to be able to lift up, and they are in a 60-40 split, and it's actually going to give you some underneath storage. And underneath Gabby's is actually going to be where your scissor jack is located. If you want to show that, yeah. And look how easy it is to bring it up. Gabby did it with one hand.
Do we get a walkthrough of that white beast sitting there? Maybe one day. I'm not going to
Once it's officially hers, Fun Car Friday.
That is going to be my new old truck.
It's Gabby's sweet ride.
All right, next.
All right, so I really like the back seat here. I like that it doesn't feel like the rear passengers are forgotten about. So for starters, we still have that same detailing on the seats, which I think looks great. You'll notice that we have lower latch anchors. Again, even on a base, we're able to pull this down, still have an adjustable armrest with cup holders. The window, as Gabby mentioned, is also going to be manual, so very easy to slide open and slide closed, and it just clicks into place.
You know what that window's for, right, Charlotte?
I'm not saying that online. Ah! It's for, no, I'm not even going there. Never mind. All right, but one of my favorite features that we have back here has got to be the inclusion of some rear ventilation. So we have rear vents, getting that climate control circulating back here too. We have one pocket on the driver's side, and we do have door-mounted cup holders. So additional cup holders, which is really nice in this vehicle. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it for back here. Good amount of space. Legroom is good. Legroom is going to be less than the Tucson, of course. Headroom is fantastic. Look at that.
Yeah, lots of space.
Look at that.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. So
I might just show the mounting points to hop into the box. So there's quite a few step options. Each one of them is capable of holding over 400 pounds. So step on the side, up there, right there. Reverse lights. I love the tail lights. And the badging on the back is also super, super clean. JC, I've already been looking at color ideas, so let me know if you have any suggestions, but I think I already know.
For yours?
Yes. Razboss said, so you're saying I should use auto hold with my DCT? Absolutely. Even if you don't have a DCT in your car, I know me, I love to balance my car on hills with the transmission, which is horrible, especially if you have a dual clutch car. So auto hold helps you stop doing that, so it kind of stops those bad habits, and it's not damaging your transmission. Like Ryan said earlier, it actually could help save your transmission. So dual clutches will slip their clutch essentially if you're just letting the car roll forward and creep. So you always want to make sure you're either stopped completely or accelerating actually in gear. And dual clutch, oh my goodness, auto hold helps make sure you stop when you're stopped. All right. Seems like a lot of headroom in the back, but what about, okay, maybe I'm not gonna read the rest of that.
To make me laugh.
Yep. A Korean car that Korea doesn't get. Yeah, so the Santa Cruz isn't available in every market. To be fair, there's a lot of cars that we don't get in our market.
Yeah, we wish we did.
Yeah, so we don't get the Tasman that Australia gets.
We don't get the Seed. We don't get the Picanto.
The X-Seed either.
The X-Seed either.
I just noticed Gabby's not wearing a belt. No belt loops on my pants today. It's not my fault.
Did you hear that the $5,000 IZEV EV rebate is now on pause by the government? I hope they extend this rebate for everyone again soon. Yes, so we were pretty much notified, I think last week, that it was going away within the next couple weeks, and then without a lot of warning, it ended yesterday. So not able to access any of the not able to access really any of the home pages. There was talks about it potentially being phased out by March. So a lot of people were anticipating that, of course. I know a couple manufacturers are taking some steps to still provide some type of incentive. I'm not too sure how much of that can be shared, as it is still currently being worked through, to my knowledge. But yeah, it sucks. It sucks.
I saw a comment that made me laugh. How does this compare to the Cybertruck? Well, they're very different.
Oh my goodness. Gas, electric, styling is completely different, price completely different.
There's a lot of differences there.
Yeah, I don't even know where to compare.
Does this come in a blue color? Yeah, there's a blue stone color. It's more of a muted or almost pastel-y blue.
I saw a question asking about how many speakers. There are 6 speakers in this. I do believe that you do have the option in the Ultimate to get a Bose premium sound system with 8 speakers, but this one and the XRT will both have 6 of the in-house.
Doesn't the majority of engine wear occur during startup? If that's true, then you could argue auto hold accelerates piston/engine wear. Well, initial startup versus being stopped, it doesn't shut off your engine. Are you talking about idle, stop, and go, or auto hold?
So auto hold,
they're two different things.
Auto hold, what auto hold does is if you bring your vehicle to a full and complete stop, it's going to keep your vehicle stopped, and you're actually able to take your foot off of the brake, and it keeps you there. Idle, stop, and go is what shuts off the engine if you bring the vehicle to a full and complete stop.
We have done research on this. All of our vehicles that do have idle, stop, and go, so that function that shuts off your engine when you get to a stop, they do have more robust starters, so they're built to take on a little bit more wear and tear, and they are actually cheaper on quite a few of our vehicles to replace.
Well, think about it too, it's idle, stop, and go is not something that's exclusive to Kia and Hyundai, and I think that it is a feature that some people love and some people don't like, and that's completely fine. You can shut it off if you don't like it. But as things become more popular and as parts become more available, it obviously is going to bring down the price of those parts. So if that's something that you are concerned about, it's not something I would necessarily be concerned about. You're going to be looking at the price of a normal starter.
He just responded, oh, I see, he's confusing idle, stop, and go. And
No worries.
Honestly, there's so many names for different, it gets confusing
Yeah, and
sometimes.
depending on the manufacturer, things always flip-flop back and forth. It's totally fine.
Does Kia Hyundai currently offer PHEV with 80 kilometers of E-range or something coming up soon? So at this point, no. Our highest is about 55 kilometers of all-electric range. For future radar, the only plug-in hybrid, or I guess I can't even really say this, but we're going to get plug-in hybrids, more of them in the future. None of them I've heard ratings for, however, so I can't really say anything there.
When do Kia and Hyundai get access to EV Tesla superchargers, and is there an adapter available to purchase for NACS to CCS. So I can't remember the exact day. It was either like, I think it's this week that they get access to it. I do believe it's mid-January. It might be the 17th. Don't quote me on that though. An adapter is supposed to be, I'm covering my mic again. An adapter is supposed to be in the works. We haven't received anything here on the dealership end as something that is Kia branded. I do know that there are several aftermarket ones available. I've actually used one when I did my EV road trip in May of last year, and I used the Lextron one. And that was CCS to NACS.
I found a comment and now I can't find it again.
Okay, I'm trying to look. I feel like we're just
I know we're just staring at our screens. Will the Kia Stinger make a comeback?
No.
No.
Oh, I'm trying to find some.
I literally can't find what I was trying to find. Santa Cruz comes with vented seats, yeah, so on higher trim levels it is an option. This is the first 2025 Santa Cruz we've had so far to film at our dealership.
I think it's good starting with the base.
Yeah.
We'll build a way up. I'm really excited to see the XRT trim. That's a new trim for Canada for 2025. And I think it has some really sweet alloys. It's gonna have those nice coral tow hooks. Really excited to see the more exclusive exterior elements because it's definitely more boxy this year. But other than that, there's not like a huge contrast between 2024 and 2025, but I think the XRT kind of brings it up a step.
We got asked by Faisal, isn't the 50-kilometer range no longer qualified in some provinces for incentives and now need to have an 80? Yeah, so...
Well, now nothing qualifies for incentives.
For the federal incentive, yeah. But, yeah, the ISEV rebate's canceled.
Yeah. I'm not too sure about provincial. Ontario doesn't necessarily have a specific provincial rebate. I know Quebec does. However, I'm not too sure of the specifics behind that.
Yeah. All right, we're at 31 minutes.
Oh
so
my goodness gracious.
We should end off today's live stream. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is an amazing truck, and if you guys have any questions, if you're watching this in the future, let us know in the comments because we're happy to answer them for you.
Definitely.
Don't forget to subscribe to watch some future videos. Hopefully we'll get every trim level of the Hyundai Santa Cruz.
And be able to compare them.
Yes. Thank you guys. Bye.
Bye.